Now this is my baby. 88 M3 E30. Oh, gotta blow the dust off of this. This was BMW's entry to M Motorsports, which was actually the M1. That was their first one. That's $1 million car now. But this was their next rendition. They did the M1, they did the M5, they did the M6, and they did them all in this vintage, but this was the one because you notice that line on the rear fender. So this bod is like a S Porsche. They widened it out, large back tire, big handling. This car handled like a 911. Back in the 86, 87, 325 IS, 325E, 325 ES, everybody had 325s. Then they made the bad boy of the 325, and it is only a 4-cylinder, but God, would it run. Big spoiler, big body. They raced them over in Europe. They had like an IROC race we had over here. They had the M3 race over there. I forgot what it was called. This one's special to my heart because this was my high school car. This is not the actual car I had in high school. I had a 91, but this is one of the best examples I could find. Look at the leather, look at the door panels. This thing is pristine. I blew the dust off of it, but actually the dust is too thick on it, so I need to wipe it off, and I will before the sale. We're gonna sell this thing June 28th at Dallas. All these cars are getting sold June 28th at Dallas Auto Auction. BBS style wheels. Let me show you under the hood. 4 valves per cylinder. It's only a 4-cylinder. They created an enormous amount of horsepower out of the 4-cylinder engines, which people did a better job of later, but for this time it was very special. But the handling on these cars and the shock towers and struts and the lean, it really is a race car. People had Mustang GTs, they thought they were cool. People had M3s, they were a lot more cool. These Blazers were 350s. This particular one is one of the best restos I've seen. We'll show you the inside in a minute. But 350 automatic. This one has really good air conditioning. They changed the seats out and they changed the interior out a little bit. They blacked it out, which I don't like. They monochromed it so the bumpers are monochrome paint. And they took the chrome lips off of the wheel wells, which they had in that era, and they took the body side molding off. So I guess it's a resto mod in that world. Mine had a 6-inch lift on it and Gumbo monster motors and all that good stuff. But these are special cars. These are cars that people really want, and they're coming up in value every single year. A real restorer does it all the way, top to bottom, soup to nuts. And I have not looked under this car, but we're fixing to, and I've got a sneaking suspicion it was done right. So looking at the undercarriage in this, they sanded it all the way down. They shot it. The leaf springs they reshot. The differentials. They put chrome covers on the differentials, which I think are a little trashy. But that's me. I like bone stock when we're talking about stuff like this. They did tiny little accents to make it better. This BFG all-terrain tire was the one to have back then, and oddly enough, it's the one to have today. White walls out is what I chose. I remember my Blazer had such a lift on it. If you see those angles in the drive shafts, now that this one's up on the lift in the air, there's more travel off the suspension. In mine, I had a 3-inch body and a 3-inch suspension, which is kind of a poor boy's way to do it, but I did it myself, and that's the money I had to do it. I didn't twist the differentials, the pumpkins, to match the angle, so I had to carry around an extra set of U-joints in the glove box, because I'd be driving along, and about every 5,000 miles, it would start going boom, 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 boom. I had the wrench, it's 1/2-inch socket set, pull over on the side of the road, take the 4 bolts out, swap the U-joint out, put it back together, take off again. 99 Porsche 911 Turbo. So this is an air-cooled car. This one's got 99,000 miles on it, but look at what we've got. We have books and records at the yin yang. We have the factory wheels right here in the back. These cars are crazy collectible. This is a car that will continue to go up in value every year. I mean, I would buy this. I mean, if it sat here for another year, it'd be worth more. And then this Ford F-100, I think it's a 53 model. I don't know what's under the hood. I know we bought it off of a little old man, and his son-in-law restored it for him. He passed away. We buy it from his kiddo. So this car is a 69 Cuda A-body, yeah, that's what these are. And it's not original, but it's pretty original because the guy bought it new in high school. And then he modded it himself, like what I was telling you about the Blazer earlier. He was a tweaker, and he set this thing up the way he wanted it. But as you look, it's a stock rig that had high school kids with maybe rich parents accessories on it, if that makes any sense. But this guy was dying of cancer. He calls us on the radio from WDVE in Pittsburgh, and he said, listen to the show every Saturday, love you guys, there's nobody I want to have this car more than you, and I trust you with it. I've been trying to sell it, and he trusts me because we paid more than everybody else, but that's all cool. He was a great guy, and he's still alive, but he was just crying. So we got this one in Pittsburgh, brought it down here to Texas, put it in the barn, and got it ready for the classic sale. So you remember Heart to Heart, Jonathan and Jennifer Hart? This is it. This is the one they want. There's a lot of SLs out there. There's 280s and 380s, but not a lot of 560s. 560, 5.6 liter big V8, and it had that third tail light, and it's got those pan dish wheels, and that's what looks different. And for some reason, these cars are worth double all the rest of them. These are the ones to have. This example has like 50 or 60,000 miles on it. It's perfect condition. I just had to have it. Customer went to givemethevin.com, and we bought it from them, and they said, dude, you paid more than I've been asking. I said, well, I wanted it that bad. And I do, and I've got it.
Got a fresh one right off the customer. 1973 Ferrari Daytona. 2-owner car. Back then they built them all out of Italy. 12 cylinders, carbureted. My favorite Ferraris. The original big hand-built V12. Really nice car, 2-owner car, a lot of documents, a lot of history. Daytona seats, manual of course. Got the metric gauges, it's all in Italian kilometers and everything. 22 kilometers, it's all documented. Really nice car, cranks right up. It's really honestly crazy how fast it cranks for a carbureted car. Good one, don't see many of these.